students, I am Sheetal Dave from St. Elizabeth School Anjar and I am teaching you 9th standard science chapter number 1 matters in our surrounding. Now that the topic was change the state of matter into other state of matter. So in the previous video we have understood when the solid changes into the liquid, changes into the gaseous when you increase the temperature. Now in some of the element we cannot see intermediate form, that is a liquid. Means some substances directly convert from solid to gaseous, and when you decrease the temperature again it goes back to the solid form. So for that one activity we can do at home also. If you have a glass, or if you have this type of a vessel, then this is inverted funnel and this is china dish, means saucer that we can take. Now we have to put it on the tripod and this type of a Bunsen burner, by that heat we have to give. And why china dish we have to take? Because when china dish take any heat uniformly, means it is not like that only in this form it will be converted. Even only if the heat is provided in particular region, china dish is having capacity to distribute heat uniformly. Therefore in chemistry lab we use that. Now we have some camphor or ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride chemical formula is NH4Cl that we have to put. Now when you give heat, what happens that you have to see. But if you heat and if this nozzle is open, gases will come out. So we have to put it into a cotton plug we have to put, so that the gaseous form will not go out. So first you have to give heat, you have to observe what happens. After some time you have to take heat back, means you have to remove Bunsen burner. You have to give, you don't have to give heat. Then you have to observe. What we have observed? We will observe that when you give heat to the camphor or ammonium chloride, slowly it starts melting, but the liquid droplet will not be observed as it directly converts into the gaseous form. And therefore it is known as this process in which liquid is not there, that solid to gaseous form. Directly it converts from solid to gaseous, and this process is known as sublimation. Second is when you don't give temperature, so because the gaseous form is there, we expect liquid. No, it again comes back to its solid state, and this process is known as deposition. So we have to remember, when solid turns into gaseous, that process is known as sublimation, and gaseous, when you cool down means you decrease temperature, that time gaseous turns into the solid. This process is known as deposition. Now I am going to discuss one another thing. We know that in the one activity, when you give heat to the solid, ice particles gets converted into the liquid. At that time we have noticed that the temperature doesn't increase till the last molecule of solid substance converted into the liquid. So when this heat has gone, that is the first question. Means when ice is to ice we give, when you heat it, it turns into the liquid form, that is a water form. But the thermometer will show you temperature when all the particles of ice converts into the water. Why? Why it doesn't show any deflection? The reason is, whatever heat is given to the ice, it used to convert the particles into the liquid state, and that heat is not absorbed, that is not noticed by thermometer, because the particles of ice absorbed it, and therefore that is known as latent heat. Okay, what is latent? Well, the meaning of latent is hidden. Okay, so this practical you can do at home. One practical, you take an ice cream cup which is of plastic, in that you pour the water and heat it. Don't put it on the gas, just take a candle and start. Plastic cup is there, in that you put the water, or paper cup is also there. When you heat it, you will notice that paper cup will not be starting burning. Why? Because whatever heat you give, that will be absorbed by the water. Okay, when all the water molecules evaporated, after that it starts burning. So same thing here, when you give heat to the ice, whatever heat you are giving, that is absorbed by the particle of ice to convert all particles into the water form. Therefore, thermometer will not show deflection, and therefore this heat is known as latent heat, that is hidden heat. So the heat which is used to convert solid particle into the liquid is known as latent heat of melting. What it is? Latent heat of boiling or heating. Latent heat of fusion. That also we use. In sometime we use latent heat of melting, but in your textbook that is used latent heat of fusion. Why fusion? Because this heat is used to convert solid particle into the liquid particle, and this process is known as a fusion. Therefore, this heat is known as latent heat of fusion. Same way, you know that when you convert, still you give temperature to convert into the water vapor. Okay, that time also you provide heat. Here also temperature will not be increasing till it converts into the water vapor. Why? Because whatever heat we have provided to the water particles, that is absorbed by the water particle to convert particles into the water droplets, and therefore that heat is also known as latent heat. But here the liquid converts into the gaseous form, therefore this heat is known as latent heat of vaporization. So again we recapitulate the latent heat, solid turns into the liquid and liquid turns into the gaseous form. The heat which is absorbed by the solid particles to convert solid into liquid is known as latent heat of fusion, because this process is known as fusion. And the heat which is used to convert water particle into the gaseous form is known as latent heat of vaporization. So these are the some of the cases which we have to understand. Now we'll make one triangle. In that we'll understand when you increase the temperature what you will get. So this type of diagram we can make: solid, liquid and gaseous form. In that, when you increase the temperature, what happens? The process is known as fusion. Liquid converts into the gaseous, that is known as vaporization, and gaseous turns into the solid, that is known as what? Deposition. Because when you decrease the temperature, that is deposition. Solid converts into liquid, fusion converts into gaseous, and again comes back to the solid form, that is known as deposition. Thank you.